Hey everybody, welcome back. It is Unreal Robin. I know I haven't posted in a few weeks and I'm here to tell you why. I had a lot going on at work. I had some things going on with the family, and most importantly was I was feeling a little bit burnt out. Not because of learning game development. I've still been doing that every day, but making the videos. I did not think that making these videos would be as difficult as it is, but I'm pretty much trying to take 20, 25 hours worth of studying and compressing the videos into 10 minutes or less. Turns out it is pretty difficult, but if you guys are enjoying them, let me know and I'll keep posting them. Anyways, this week we're going to be covering everything that I've done in the past 2 to 3 weeks, getting characters animated, getting them moving around on screen, using enhanced inputs, a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of stuff that took a lot of time, some things that we take for granted. So stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you everything that I've done in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Let's go. So for the first week, I was able to get a bird and move the bird around the screen. You can see here I'm just kind of flying it around. It was a lot of fun. For this bird, we used just the standard pawn class and we created all of its necessary components from scratch. So we had the collision box, the movement component, the mesh, all those things we built from scratch. But as we progressed, we got into Echo. Echo is Unreal Engine's new demoable character. She's a lot of fun and really high res. For her, we used the enhanced input system, which is Unreal Engine's new input system. I did practice going back and forth using first the original input system, and then I also did it in the enhanced version, which was a lot of fun. So I kind of learned both things, which is important. Another key about Echo is she's a character class, which means that she has a few of the built-in features that we had to code from scratch for the bird. So she came with a movement component, she came with the collision component, which makes it a lot easier. So I got Echo to be able to move around the screen, moving forward, moving back, left and right using the WASD keys. It's just as easy for a controller. It's just another input selection that you'll make. You can see here I got her to be able to jump, and then I'll be working on crouch, attack, pick up, things of that nature. Here you can see I'm running around with her in the debug mode, so I can make sure that all the little inputs on the left of the viewport you can see up there, that all the inputs work. That's a really cool feature I think that the new enhanced input system has that I'm not sure if the old one has. Also, we got to use the Groom plugin that let us modify Echo's hair color. This was pretty cool. This is one of the great things about Unreal is you can get pretty deep into everything of the game, which is kind of why I chose Unreal, because it has so much possibilities. Here I just kind of changed her hair color to blue, changed the root colors, all those things straight from the editor. No need to go back to Blender or anything like that. And here I'm just kind of moving her around, but as you can see, we don't have any animations in yet, but later in the video we get her fully animated and ready to rock. So the next thing we wanted to do was, instead of using the A and D keys to kind of move Echo left and right, is we wanted that you would aim Echo with the mouse. Think of like a first-person shooter. You'd aim with the mouse, and then whenever you press forward, or the W key, is that it moves you in the direction that you're aiming. That way you can just hold down W and you can kind of turn your character with the mouse. So in order to do that, we had to do some rotational math. I guess, Unreal Engine really does all of it, but this was a cool thing where, we wrote the code first in like a really basic form, and then we come back and we refactored the code to be able to do this kind of more advanced feature. We also used matrices here, which is from linear algebra. If you go back to my first video where I cover everything that we need to study, linear algebra is one of them, and we are studying that still. This was a really cool part and I really enjoyed it. For all the other game devs out there who, you code something for a long time and you're like, oh, this is gonna work great, well, you'll appreciate this. So now Echo's whole body is rotating in the direction of my mouse. This was kind of fun to jump around and move the mouse around and see her whole body here. This is one of the, I guess, quirks of Unreal Engine, where somewhere hidden in the long details panel is a little toggle that you need, and you just hit that toggle and then everything is fixed. But unless you know you need it, you'll be debugging for a while. But eventually you'll get it and it'll feel really, really good. You can see here I ended up getting it down, and yep, that was a lot of fun. So after feeling really confident after getting Echo to move how I wanted to, I decided that I would organize my project a bit better. Rename some things, move some things around. A little foreshadowing, it didn't go well. The big shebang. I wanted to rename my map. I wanted it to kind of just be clearer and easier for me to select. So that's what I did, and in the editor, I went to my map and just renamed it. I got a pop-up saying, hey, wait, there's some linked assets in here. Are you sure? And I thought to myself, okay, things are linked. Just keep them linked, and yes, I'm sure. So I opened the newly named map, and it was completely black. All my assets, all the landscape work that I did, all of that was gone. So I thought that I would just close down my editor and then reopen it back up. But when I did that, it was referencing my old map, which was now renamed. And so my editor would crash every time that I would try to open it back up. I was getting a little bit worried here. And so I kind of took a breather and took the rest of the night off, upset. And I thought I would come back the next day and fix it. So the next day I came back and I couldn't get the map, even the editor, to open. And so I had to go into my code, and then I thought, hey, maybe I'll just delete the map, and somehow it won't be deleted. It was deleted. So yeah, that was that. And I haven't made my map again, but I will make it once more in the future. All right, moving on. Hey guys, just want to take a quick break from the video and just say thank you guys so much for even getting this far in the video. I know that this is not the most exciting stuff, but what I wanted to give you guys is just an inside look of what it looks like to learn game development, or just a new skill in general. Kind of show it to you guys raw, like this is what it is. Slow incremental pace. Anyways, for all you guys out there who are also trying to learn game development, I thought I would give you guys maybe a little treat or something that you guys would enjoy. So below in the description, there are 3 links. These links are all my notes for the few sections that I did over the past week. Now these notes are not curated, and I didn't spend time making them better and better, but they are my raw notes, and there are a lot of notes there with links and pictures and some images that I think that might be useful for whoever else is out there learning game development. So thank you guys again for watching the video, and the links are below in the description. Let's carry on. So after getting Echo to be able to move around, I wanted her to be animated, and so we used the animation blueprint and used animation states in order to make that happen. Here you can see I'm using a bunch of the nodes, and this is a really, really cool visual part of Unreal that I actually just love. You know, if you want to create like a state where when she's running, you play the running animation. When she stops running and she's just kind of standing there, you play the idle animation, and you code using blueprints these transitions, right? So if like her speed is 0, that means that she's just standing, and then you would play the idle animation, and it creates like a cool loop all the way through, so that it's a really simple way to make a bunch of different animations work together into this kind of state system. If you haven't used it before, I would definitely check it out. It's a lot easier than maybe it looks, but it's a lot of fun, and you can get your character running, stopping, jumping, all of these things in a pretty simple way. So this next part is definitely the hardest thing I've ever done, but I don't know if you ever realize it when you're playing video games and your character is kind of walking on an edge, that their feet don't line up with the slope correctly, or they're standing over the edge and they have kind of their foot floating, like you can kind of see here. Well, in the tutorial that I'm doing, we code a fix for this, and it was really complicated, as you can kind of see here. But we did a really cool fix for this where you kind of shoot like a laser beam, I guess you can think of it, out of your foot, and it says what the laser beam checks for is how far is my foot from the ground. And if the foot is like, let's say like 50 units away from the ground, then you adjust the foot and the body to kind of make up for that. So if the foot is above the ground, then you would lower the entire body so that the foot goes down to the ground. It was really hard, and I'm not explaining it well, but it's in a bunch of different parts. Okay, so you can see even after getting it all done, I still had some issues. Back to this, one checkbox in a full details pane of options that you have. But the first thing that I did is, the first thing you check for is your foot above the ground? And you check both feet. And so then you find out which foot is higher above the ground, because let's say one foot is on a slope and then the other foot is kind of hanging off. So you find out which foot you want to change. Then you create the offset amount, which is the height difference between the floating foot and the ground. Then you create then you use some inverse kinematics to be able to move the body lower down and adjust for that difference. It was very, very intense, but once you get it done, it felt great. I'm gonna add a picture of the whole graph so that you guys can check it out. Here it is. So once you have all of that done, you create a control rig, and just like where before we used the animation states to kind of control how the animations would change, you input this control rig into your animation state, and then it kind of just does it like magic. How it ends up looking is amazing. For kind of the short amount of work that we did, it really took probably like an hour or two and a few passes to work through it. But in the end, you can see here Echo's foot bends when her other foot is floating kind of over in space. Her foot bends, her body drops down, and then even when she's just walking on a slope, the foot kind of meets the slope correctly. It's really, really cool. That's everything that I learned in the past 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. I'm going to try to be more consistent with the videos, but these videos are hard to make. Like I said before, I don't ever edit videos except for this, and it's kind of like learning a whole other skill, learning game development and learning video editing. So have a little patience with me, please. Okay, so I am posting another video this week, not about game development, but actually about the metaverse. I'm not going to sell you anything, no shit coins, none of that stuff. But I did want to share my opinion about the metaverse because I do a lot of research on it. It's kind of like a second passion of mine after game development, and I just thought I would share my opinion on things. Anyways, if you made it to the end, don't forget the links in the description to my notes below, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.